Back on the SportsMax Zone, a tough day in the field for the Windies on day 2 of the second test against England at Old Trafford. Jason Holder's men reached 32 for 1 at stumps with Craig Brathwaite 6 and night watchman Alzari Joseph on 14. Those are the not-out batsmen. John Campbell was trapped leg before wicket by Sam Curran for 12 of 34 balls. The hosts had batted for 162 overs, posting 469 for 9 declared. Ben Stokes cracked 176 of 356 balls, his 9th Test 100. Dom Sibley stroked a patient 120, reaching his century of 312 balls. Now, in the last 20 years, Sibley is only the second English batsman after Nasser Hussain to bring up a century of 300 balls. Both men put on 260 for the 4th wicket, and the West Indies toiled under the Old Trafford sun. Now, despite the West Indies in the field, all-rounder Roston Chase grabbed his second 5-wicket haul against England, 5 for 172. Here is Chase speaking after stumps.
My second 5-wicket haul, following my 8-wicket haul in Barbados. Yeah, I do tend to do well against them, even in the tour. In 2017, when we came out here, got a few wickets. Although England is not really a place where spinners usually dominate, I still think that I find a way to get some wickets, so I'm happy about it. I guess with the bad weather that we had leading up to the test match, the pitch had a lot of moisture early on, so I thought that that's what really helped the ball to really spin that much so early on in the game. But I thought as the days went on, wicket got a little easier, the ball didn't spin as much. It wasn't really spinning from straight as early on like yesterday, but it's still a good wicket to bat on, although you're getting some spin, so see what happens.
Roston Chase there, the West Indies batting off spinner. Now joining us to review the day's play, England-based David Brooke and the man in Barbados, Tino Best. Gentlemen, well, day 1 saw the England batsmen looking solid and determined. Day 2, more of the same. How is the game poised? Let's go to David first, since you are at Old Trafford yourself.
Well, it was, that partnership, Lance. Good night to you and good night to Tino. It was one of those days where, that partnership at 260 with the very contrasting styles. If there'd been a full house at Old Trafford, how they would have loved that innings by Ben Stokes. It was one of those Ben Stokes going through the gears, in contrast really with Sibley, who, did that sort of what Craig Brathwaite needs to do, I guess, tomorrow is just hold up an end. But Stokes was wonderful with his shot, 17 fours, 2 sixes. He was there a long time, just 10 minutes short of 6 hours as well, Stokes. So he really had to knuckle down. Sibley, as you say, a very slow, very patient knock. But you can see how much it demoralised the West Indies bowlers. And just like we were saying yesterday, when we were questioning the team selection and whether or not Gabriel and Roach could go another test so quickly, I think we saw today that, there was a lack of firepower from that West Indies team.
Yeah, but the England batting, they are trailing in the series. It's a short series. It's only 3 test matches. So England must win here to have a chance of reclaiming the Wisden Trophy. Do you think their application and how they went about things today, well, Sibley for sure didn't, but overall in the position of the game, do you think England has played over the first 2 days here like a team determined and focused on a victory?
Well, I know what you're getting at, Lance, in terms of the speed of the scoring. That's the question people are asking, I guess, is, did they score too slowly? I think the answer to that, there's plenty of time left in this test match. There is enough time for England to get the 20 wickets. It's now a question of whether West Indies can almost turn it round and demonstrate that England did bat for too long and did bat too slowly by doing the same thing themselves.
Tino, your thoughts on what happened on day 2 today and the struggles for the West Indies in the field?
Yeah, I thought today was a brilliant situation in terms of what Test cricket is all about. I thought England batted well in terms of just trying to set up the game. I thought they lose their way a little bit and they weren't too sure of what they wanted to do after accelerate and try to get 550. But they realized that the surface is very slow. And Lance, they know within the back of their minds that taking 19 wickets on this surface is going to be hard work. All the West Indies have to do is just lock in and bat properly. I do agree with you, Lance, when you asked Brixie about the speed that they were scoring runs at. So they didn't really play as a team that that wanted to like set up a game. I think that they are taking their time with this game. What they are hoping for the West Indies to do is to get complacent and to lose some early wickets. What West Indies need to do is to bat as deep and as long as possible. We have to bat out the entire day tomorrow to really tilt the favor back into West Indies play. But an intriguing third day tomorrow setup. So I'm really looking forward to it. I still think the game is evenly balanced, and that surface looks like a flat one. But that is what Test cricket is about, and I would really like to see someone like a Shea Hope to get some runs. I think Blackwood as well got to kind of like taper his innings in a way that you don't have to go super hard. I think it's all about time. Tony Howard used to say this all the time, guys. He always talk about cricket is time, wickets, and runs. The most important thing is time. You've got to eat time by blocking balls and rotating your strike and try to score. The minimum that West Indies should be looking at tomorrow is 375 runs in terms of their first innings score.
David, rain is in the forecast for tomorrow. What does that mean for our West Indies team?
Yes, Mariah, I think they'll be very happy to see the local Manchester weather if it does deliver some rain tomorrow. That is the forecast in, so West Indies will be very happy to see some hours taken out. As Tino says, it's a question of batting time. And if the weather can deliver them off the field for 2 or 3 hours, then so much the better. That'll make their task that much easier. I wouldn't trust the local weather in Manchester. Yeah, it's going to be unsettled. And I'm sure that, the West Indies will be very grateful for any assistance they can get from the elements.
Tino, did we allow England to put on too much runs? And did we make an error by not changing the team, knowing that one, John Campbell, had a bit of injury problems? We see Shannon Gabriel struggling as well.
To be honest, Maria, I don't want to be too hard on Phil Simmons and his staff, because that would be a real hypocrite if I say like they should have changed the team or what's not. Usually in cricket, when you're playing in a professional setup, you don't usually change the winning side. That's the honest truth. So I can throw that one out the way. I can leave that one out for the off stump. I honestly believe that playing back-to-back test matches was always going to be tough on the bowlers, and bowlers needed to be honest. I think guys are still fighting for players, even though that this 4-pound attack have been playing together for a while. I still think that guys needed to prove themselves. The Azari still got to prove himself, because Shamar Holt is right behind him in terms of Keon Harden and those young Barbadian fast bowlers. So he needs to play. He doesn't care if we play back-to-back test matches. He has to get wickets to cement his play. And I think that at the end of the day, I think the other question was, sorry, beg your pardon, Murray. The second question was what? Beg your pardon?
I asked about the unchanged team and if we allowed England to put on too much runs.
Yeah, correct. So going on the part of putting on too much runs, the wicket is very docile. I think that you have to be a service that you have to be really, really patient on. I hope that the batsman makes mistakes by just bowling those channels. I think Nasser Hussain made a very important point today. He talked about Sam Curran being a very skiddy bowler, but bowling the ball at the stump. I think that Kemar Roach, being short in stature as well, he didn't bowl enough balls at the wicket. I think that is one of those surfaces that you got to bowl knee roll balls. You got to bowl the ball to hit the batsman knee roll. And something that Corny Brown used to say to us all the time, when you go to places like Trinidad or Guyana on very docile pitches, you've got to bowl the ball, nip him back into the right-hander or nip him back into the left-hander to hit him on his knee roll. So it's all about patience tomorrow, Mariah. I think that England batted properly. I thought West Indies was a little tired, but you could understand why they are tired, guys. So I don't want to get into too much about the team dynamics and stuff. Let's not get into that too much, because we don't want to be too critical on the team selection, because who knew? So I think that the game is still evenly poised, and I just honestly believe that West Indies just got to bat well. They got to bat well, Mariah and Lance, and hope to get nearly 400 runs in this first inning.
Definitely. David, how relieved were you for Kemar Roach? Obviously, he's been bowling very economically, but not picking up the wickets. Today, he got his first 2 wickets for the test.
Oh, huge relief for Kemar. I mean, who would begrudge him those 2 wickets? I know West Indies would have lost at least 1 review because they were trying to get a wicket for Kemar. But yeah, he came back with 2 wickets. That will be a huge weight off his mind, because I'm sure that, the pressure mounts. As Tino was saying yesterday, the pressure is now on Kemar Roach as well, with all those pacers waiting in the rings. So, 2 wickets for Roach. Let's hope that tees him up for a better second innings performance, and let's hope he gets some time with his feet up over the next 1.5 days at least, if West Indies can bat time before he has to do it again.
Tino, Roston Chase today, he picked up a 5-wicket haul, of course, very impressive. What's your thoughts on Roston Chase? And based on how the wicket is playing, do you think Rakeem Cornwall would have been a good inclusion?
Oh gosh, Mariah, you're pulling me back into it again.
I'm getting like Lance and George. Do you see who I work with?
No, honestly, to be honest, I thought Roston Chase bowled beautifully. He's one of those bowlers that want to hold. He's a part-timer that is a class part-time. You got top-time part-time bowlers. Yeah. I think he's right up there in terms of a top class part-time bowler, meaning that if you're gonna go for, he's more specialized in batting. Not saying that Roston Chase is not a good spinner. Don't get me wrong. Oh God, I like to choose my words very carefully nowadays. so basically, Roston has a knack for getting big wickets. And for the 4 or 5 years I played with Roston, he always bowled beautifully. He loves to bowl. He's one of those guys that he will even be upset with me that I call him a part-timer. I think he thinks that he's a front-line spinner as well. But I think that at the end of the day, the surface looks really good. I don't think, I tell you what, Mariah, and I stand to be corrected from Brooksy. I honestly believe that Roston Chase is a better spinner than Don Best. That's the honest truth.
David, jump in.
I don't see how Don Best could get 6 or 7 of us on that wicket tomorrow, because I don't think he puts enough revs on the ball. But, I don't want to put my mouth on the guy. I hope that the West Indies going back well. But when we're talking about how impressive Roston Chase was, he is the best spinner that we've seen in the 2 tests so far.
Well, he's the 5th West Indies spinner to take a 5-4 in England after Ramadan, Valentine, Lance Gibbs and Roger Harper. David, a quick comment from you that Roston Chase is a better off spinner than Dom Bess.
I agree with Tino.
Oh, you do?
I remember speaking to Mushtaq, who was the spinning coach last year, about Roston Chase, straight after he'd taken those 8 wickets against England in the first test in 2019. And, Mushtaq, who's a pretty good judge, said Roston Chase is right up there. He regarded him as a frontline spin bowler. He wasn't surprised that he'd taken the 8 wickets. And Tino, as you say, if 47 overs is a part-timer, I'd hate to have a full-time workload.
All right, I'm going to go back to you, Tino, because the Shea Hope issues in Test cricket at the moment really problematic for the West Indies. Almost hard to understand. He's averaging 52 in ODIs, 26 in Test cricket. But if you look at him play in white ball cricket, he looks as if that, because of how he bats, that he wants time to build innings and so on, which would suggest that Test cricket is the perfect platform for him. What is your assessment, Tino, first, on Shea Hope's struggles in Test cricket at the moment, given the fact that he is a batsman with talent?
To be honest, a lot of people are going to say I'm a favorite of Shea Hope. But I tell you what, Lance, let me call the cattle, what color the cattle must be. Black, the cattle is be black. Let me call the cattle black. He needs to score runs. I believe that if Shea does not score in this innings, he's under a lot of pressure of being dropped in third test. And I say that from a point of view as in saying, like, I love the kid, but he got to score runs. I mean, batsmen score runs, bowlers stay at wickets. And to be honest, that number 3 spot is a very critical spot right now in West Indies cricket. I think that with Darren Bravo giving him so much time now to just bloom, I think this is the right time for him to just keep Darren Bravo out the team. He got to score a big one tomorrow, and the wicket looks like a very good wicket to do that, Lance. If Shea Hope fails tomorrow, he's going to put himself under so much pressure in the second innings and going into that third test. I don't know what to say. So to be honest, he has to cut out a big one tomorrow for sure if he wants to go on with his Test cricket. That's the honest truth. I gotta say.
Yes, I think we know that, Tino, but I'm trying to get your analysis of what is going wrong for him, given the fact that he does so well in ODIs. What is the difficulty that he's having in scoring Test runs?
I feel it's a mindset. I honestly believe it's a mindset with Shea. The talent is there to be seen. I think that The coach Simmons needs to get into his head and let him know what he's capable of doing, not what he's doing wrong. I think that's one of the keys in coaching. Well, it kind of worked for me. I always find that coaches that told me what I was doing wrong upset me more than coaches telling me what I was capable of doing. I think when coaches told me what I was capable of doing, it got more to me, like a guy like Henderson Springer, a guy like Otis Gibson, Gus Logie to a lesser extent. They got more to me in terms of telling me what I'm capable of doing. So I think that Phil Simmons should tell Shea Hope tomorrow, look, brother, when you're going to bat, just be yourself. Play your shots, play the ball, start off in the V like how you know how to bat, and just back yourself. Don't worry about the test before. Don't worry about your test average is 26 and your one-day average is 52. You're only as good as your next performance. And your next performance is batting after that night watchman or Craig Brathwaite gets dismissed. Going there and we know what you're capable of doing and we have to do it. So I don't think nothing wrong with him technically. I just think that he needs to just stay focused. I'll tell you one thing. I honestly believe, Lance, that Mark Wood was giving him a little bit of problem from the Caribbean and came into England giving him a little bit of problem. I think he handles Archer a little better, but I think Mark Wood was giving him a lot of trouble, and Mark Wood is not playing. Yeah. So I honestly believe that Shea can do well tomorrow and get some runs. He's got to believe, and I just think that it's just a hate thing. I don't think it's anything to do with technical, his technique and so forth. I just think it's between his ears.
Yeah. And David Brooke, what have you been able to glean regarding Shea Hope's troubles?
Well, as you say, Lance, he scored so many runs in white ball cricket and ODI cricket over the last year that his form can't really be in question. And when Coach Phil Simmons was asked about Shea Hope, just before this match, he's expressed total confidence in him. So he's got to come good. As Tino said, it's the time to deliver. He's been, I guess, living on borrowed time in terms of past glories and all that, because it's a while now since 2017. With the 2 centuries at Headingley, which we remember so well. He's got to somehow reproduce that tomorrow. The pressure is on. As Tino said, he has to deliver in the first innings. Otherwise, the pressure's going to build up far too much for him. Hard to notice any real technical faults. I was talking to Toby Radford earlier today about that, and he thinks it's a mental thing as well, that he's just finding soft ways of getting out, but the technique is still good enough. So let's just hope he can dig in tomorrow.
Definitely hoping West Indies can dig in tomorrow and put on some runs. Of course, England ended their innings on 469 for 9 and they declared. And then West Indies, they're batting right now. Of course, that score 32 for 1. So if you're enjoying the discussion with Tino and David, they'll be back for the next segment. Stay with us.